Okay, here we go. So this is what we started talking about yesterday was action and consequence. Okay. What we're going to do today is we're going to put these two things together, like in a single sentence, and we're going to use specific words to do it. Okay. Watch carefully because this is something that looks really easy when you see examples, but it's also very easy to get it mixed up. Trust me, I've been teaching this for 30 years. Okay. All right. So the words you already know. These are the Google, stop doing that. This is why I use Word sometimes. Yeah, I know you're going to do that. Undo. Thank you. So these are the two words we're going to use. Because and so. I'm sure you've heard these words before. Here's the important difference. Because is the reason. It's the why. Okay. So is the result. Okay. So if we go back to action and consequence, okay, a little bit similar. Okay. So is generally the consequence. What happens because you did something else. All right. So if I say the word so a lot. I've discovered that in my videos. So let's use the examples that I did same examples I did yesterday. Okay. Let me change this back to cavities because apparently that's what Christina said and I didn't hear it correctly. All right, so let's use the first thing. I drive too fast.
Because
Okay, so there's the thing. I drive too fast. Is that the reason or is that the
Yes.
result?
Reason.
It's the reason.
the reason.
What's the result if you drive too fast?
I have an accident.
Exactly. So because you're doing the thing, you're going to have I drive too fast. So what happens?
Accident.
I have
Have an accident. And Google is telling me change this to past, so I'll do that. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the second example. The children eat a lot of candy and they get stomach aches. What's the reason?
Eat a lot of candies.
Eating a lot of candy. And the result?
Stomach
You
ache.
get cavities or stomach ache. If you want to use because, then you're going to have to switch it around.
They get because they eat a lot of candy.
They have toothache.
Or toothache, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Or stomach ache, depending on, their constitution, yeah. This is the difference here. What if I switch this? So watch this.
I had an
An accident. Because I drive
I drive too
fast.
fast.
I had an accident
Because
because
I
drove too
drove
fast.
too fast.
So you have to think about what's the reason and what's the result. What's first and what's second, essentially. So like I said, it looks really easy when the teacher's doing it, but be careful.
And we
So I'm
can
gonna-
use
careful.
because and so for the same sentence. If I need say because I drive too fast, so I had an accident. This is good.
You're
Is
not
it
going to
correct?
use, good question. You're not going to use because and so in the same sentence. You're going to use one or the other.
Not to.
Now you can, and I have this in Canvas also. All of this is in Canvas, by the way. Explanations and everything I'll show you in a moment. Now you can switch the two parts.
Because I drove too fast.
But again, you can only use because or so. You're not going to use both.
Mm-hmm.
So with because, you can switch the order. With so, it doesn't work. So I had an accident. I drove too fast. So I had, yeah, it doesn't work with so. But yes, because you can switch the two parts. Okay. But again, because is always going to go with the reason. You're not going to say I drove too fast because I had an accident. No, after you have the accident, how are you driving at all? Even, much less too fast. So remember this idea of why versus result, reason versus result. All right, I'm going to show you the full page on Canvas. Okay. This is nice and separated. Okay. So, because and so connects the reason with the consequence. Why with the result. Somebody lost their internet. Oh, Ruby probably. All right. So, because gives the reason. So, oops, sorry. The consequence comes first, then the reason. So this is the usual way to do it with because in the middle. But again, like I just showed you, you can switch the two parts and it's fine. The grammar's good. Okay. Residents are afraid to walk at night. Why? Because the streetlights are broken. The street is dangerous. Why? Because there are large potholes. All right, so because always gives the reason. And I know you're familiar with because. Okay. So you might not be as familiar with. So this is the one you want to get down. So gives the result, the consequence, what happens after. So the street lights are broken.
So
What's the result or the consequences of the street lights being broken?
So residents are afraid to walk at night.
That's what happens after they're broken. That's the result or the consequence of the broken lights. There are large potholes in the street. What's the result? What's the consequence?
The street is dangerous.
The street is dangerous. Cars get damaged. It's difficult to drive. Okay, whatever the consequence is, that's what you're going to use with so. Okay, so this is one of those. Just remember, because is the why. So is what happened after that.
The consequence.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now here's the way you can switch it around and get the same meaning. It depends on which one you use, and you have to make sure that you use because with the reason and so with the result. So people are getting sick because there are stray animals. There are stray animals, so people are getting sick.
What is
Why?
stray animals, teacher? Stray animals. What is stray?
Animals with homeless animals that are just
Oh,
walking around the street.
okay. Stray.
Yeah, and I do have a definition of that on the previous page with community issues. So if you forget, it's there. So here's the why or the reason, right?
Yes.
And here is the result or the consequence. Once again, I apologize for my ugly writing. So these two sentences are the same meaning. It just depends on which way you choose to put it. And then you have to be sure that you're using the because or the so correctly. All right, punctuation. And yes, I'm going to make you do this too. With so, you put a comma before the so. So there's a comma right there. With because, generally no comma. Because is also what we call a conjunction. It connects to. You don't need a comma when you have because in the middle. And that's an important distinction. With because in the middle, you don't need a comma. If you switch those two parts and put because at the beginning, now you have no connector in the middle, so you got to put a little comma. I'm going to show you that in a moment here. Okay. So this is what we brought up earlier when people asked, somebody asked, with because you can put the reason first, but now you need a comma. Okay. So take a look at these three sentences. They all mean the same. Residents are afraid to walk at night because the streetlights are broken. Because in the middle, giving the reason at the end, no comma. The streetlights are broken, so residents are afraid to walk. Now you're giving the result second, so in the middle, you need a comma. And then here's the because first. Because the streetlights are broken, comma, residents are afraid to walk at night. If because is not in the middle, if you put it at the beginning, comma, to separate the two ideas, the reason and the result. Okay, and here's the explanation for all three of them. All right, everybody okay so far?
Yes.
Questions? Comments?
No, teacher.
How far we're good? Okay. Another example here with the 3 different ways that you can write the same idea with reason and consequence, or reason and result. The neighborhood looks unsafe because there is graffiti. There is graffiti, so the neighborhood looks unsafe. Because there's graffiti, comma, the neighborhood looks unsafe.
Yeah, because when you see a lot of graffiti in the walls in a community, you think there
I
are
think this is a bad neighborhood. I don't want to
Yeah.
walk through here. I don't want to shop here.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the main problems is businesses, right? Businesses are not going to make money if people don't want to shop there.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the graffiti and you think gangs, danger, etc. So of course you don't want to go there. So one of the biggest problems with graffiti. All right. So this is, oh shoot, did I publish this? Hold on. This is on Canvas. Let me publish it real quick. I can get back to my page. I'll publish everything. All right. All right. So this is using because and so. Okay. This is what we're looking at. So I'm going to have you do a couple of different practices with these. On the first one, let me stop the share for a moment. On the first one, I'm going to give you the first half of a sentence with the because or so. I'm going to give you the because or so this time. And you're going to finish it. Let me number these. Okay, now the other thing before we start this, you remember I kept talking about complete sentences, even in that easy assignment I gave you yesterday. Because after the words so or because, in this sense, when we're combining reason and result, you need a complete sentence. So for the example we did, if you say, for example, I drove too fast, so accident. The children have cavities because candy. It has to be a complete thought. Subject, verb, etc. So that's why I kept telling you, please do the practice with complete sentences. The sentence will not make sense if you just stick one word after it. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you these. Use your paper and pencil. Finish the sentences. You can do it just in your notebook if you like. If you would like, try putting something in the chat. That's okay too. Think about because and so. Because is giving the reason, so is giving the result. Reason happens before result. Doesn't matter what order it is in the sentence. The reason is always the first thing that makes the result happen. All right. I'm going to pause the recording while we're working on these. Okay. So I couldn't talk to him because there were a lot of people at the event. I couldn't talk to him because he was busy.
Yeah.
Or I was busy, right? Could go either way there. Good. That's the idea. Complete sentence. Complete sentence. Nice. Okay. Number 2. He was always late to work, so
He lost
Was fired.
his job.
He was fired.
he got fired or he was fired. Either way would be fine. Somebody else used the other verb. What was it?
I say he lost his job. So
He lost his job, right? That's the other way. That's the other common way to say this. Exactly. Here's your reason. Here's your consequence or your result. Good. Okay. We open the window because
It is very hot because it was very hot.
I would do was because this is past,
Yeah.
right? So you want it to agree.
There
Was
go.
hot.
Teacher, I put in there was it too much smoke.
Oh, okay. Oh, Google, stop it. There was too much. Did you burn your dinner, Ruben? Is that what happened?
Yes, sometimes I
I had
forget
that
to.
happen once. I burned something on the stove and the smoke alarm's going off. I'm trying to wave towels at it so it would be quiet. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there was something with my pan with the grease. I don't know what happened.
Teacher.
Yeah.
Because it's very noisy outside.
You
Noisy.
open the window?
That would
Think
be
about it.
like we closed.
No.
Okay. No, yeah. Yeah, wait, I wanted to make sure she got it. Remember, because is the reason.
Mhm.
Teacher,
Yeah.
I put
Opening the window is the result. And this is why I go over this because, like I said, this is really easy when we're doing it together. But when you try to do this on your own and think of the difference because and so, it's in your head, you say it in a certain order. This happens first, this happens second.
Yeah.
But
teacher.
if you're using because here in the middle, you're actually saying open the window is second and the because part is first. So your brain is trying to like switch it, right? Because number 1 comes before number 2. So this is very common, this kind of thing happening. So
Oh, teacher, I put some different, but I don't know if I okay. We put we opened the window because we are very hot and we want some air.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean you could even say just though we wanted some air, right?
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Mm.
Yeah, like I said, this is the lovely thing about these sentences is there's so many possible answers to them. That's one of my favorite things. Okay. All right, last one. She was really stressed. So,
She had a lot of problem.
what's the result?
I put in so
She didn't
She
enjoy
took
her
vacation.
birthday party.
I got 2 different answers. So, I'm going to put them both up because they're both good.
she went to sleep.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sometimes that's the way I deal with stress. Yeah, right. If you're sleeping, you cannot remember all the problems you have. You cannot think too much, right?
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Here's one of my favorites.
I cannot sleep when I'm stressed, teacher.
Well, that can happen too. Yeah. That's kind of your body's defense. Is it going to keep you up or let you go to sleep? Yeah. Good.
Mhm.
So here's the reason. Here's the result. So that's the biggest thing to remember. Because gives the reason, And that's generally the first thing that happens, right? So gives the result, the second thing. Almost. Trying to get this small enough where y'all can get a picture if you want one. Hey. If I can get my computer to cooperate here. Okay, there you go. All right, so if you would, oh, come on, computer. So if you would like a picture, nice job. Okay, so I'm going to, God, it's 10:30 already. I'm going to take my 4 who want to do the second test. You're going to stay here, like before. The rest of you, I'm going to give you the harder practice. No. Ah. Oh, hold on. Let me stop sharing this for a moment till I get this organized here. Yeah, let's just give you a bunch. Why not? Give me one sec. I'm numbering these to make it easier for you guys to talk to each other and work together here. Make sure I got this as the hard one. Because you did so well on the easy one. I will make this a little bigger, so if you would like a picture. Okay. Okay, Ellie, I got your message. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't have a chance to check the chat. Okay. All right. So if you would like a picture, take one now, and I will come to your rooms and copy these in the chats. I'm going to pause the recording again. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what's on Canvas. How did it go in your practice rooms? Good, bad? I think so. I don't know. Silence. Anybody?
Good, teacher.
Good? Okay. I asked the question, I get silence. I'm like, uh-oh. Something went really wrong. Okay, so I know we ran out of time today, but thank you for you guys doing your makeup testing. That's very helpful. Like I said, it's good for you to do the practice, and it's good for the school because everybody who finishes these tests, we get extra money.
Mhm.
Well, I don't, but the school does. Okay, so I do have, just to let you know, Ruby, Martita, and Christina. You're going to have to do another CASAS test because you don't have 2 on record this semester. Yeah, so without 2, like the tests you did now, today, or this week, they actually don't count unless you have 2 tests on record. Okay. Anyway, so I'll send you that information separately. Ellie, I can't remember if I told you, but you're good. You have your 2 on record, and they said you're good. You're good until July. Okay. It's a weird system. Anyway, so Ruby, Martita, and Christina, I will send you information. And this is the one where you can go to that link like anytime. They're open like all day and evening, Monday through Thursday. They're open Friday and Saturday mornings. I'll send you the info. Okay, so for everybody, so here's the using because and so we looked at today. The first practice is a very easy quiz. You just look at the sentence and you choose because or so. That's it, A or B, basically. Okay. There are 2 parts to this assignment. Make sure you're looking at A and B. Okay. Part A is the first part we did where I gave you the so or the because, and then you finish. Part B is what you guys were just practicing in your breakout rooms, where you choose the because or the so and just finish it with anything that works. Okay, so make sure you have part A and part B. And then finally, I kind of brought it all together. What I did is I gave you 5 problems in the community. I want you to write 1 or 2 consequences and then 1 idea for a solution. Okay, for each problem. Okay. Again, complete sentences. It is not required that you use because and so on these things. If you want to for the extra practice, sure, you could say, there is graffiti on the wall of the post office, so da 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 da. So if you want to, you can, but it's not required. Just the idea of consequence and give an idea for a solution or something that'll help. Okay. And at the end, I know this is for Santa Ana. But it might give you some ideas for your own city too. This is what I call a resource guide. And apparently it's still processing. So let me show you what it looks like when the computer is okay. So these are all kinds of different community resources since we've been talking about community and community problems.
Mhm.
Again, this is specifically for Santa Ana, but it might give you an idea if you live in a different city, like what to Google. Okay, if you needed help in a particular area. And we talked about the whole reporting thing yesterday. So, and that's in there too. Okay, so just a because and so, easy quiz, finish the sentences. This will be harder. And then give me some consequences and solutions for the problems. All right.
Mhm. All right.
All right. So that's it. And we have 3 weeks left. That's it. 3 weeks and the semester is finished. Oh my goodness. If I still need to talk to you about summer classes, if you want to stay and talk to me today, right now, that's fine. If not, we'll talk about on Monday. Those of you I have talked to, take a look at those schedules. If you're going to a different time or different class or whatever, I'd like to know next week the class numbers so I can get that into the registration office and get you registered.
Mhm.
Okay. I know a couple of people have already registered on their own, so that's fine too. All right, let me stop the recording.